Resolution 95. Item 46, Resolution 97. Item 47, Resolution 98. Item 48, Resolution 99. Item 49, Resolution 100. Item 50, Resolution 101. Item 51, Resolution 102. Item 52, Resolution 103. Item 53, Resolution 04. And that ends the consent calendar. Any other questions that you may have? Okay, I'm sorry. Moved by Legislator Walker, seconded by Legislator Nicolau. Any further questions? Now is the time. If not, any public comment? Tanya is on the items here?
Yes.
No, I'm talking about Tanya. She's coming up. John, you want to get up? John, you want to go ladies first?
Ladies first.
Oh, well, that's all right, John.
I'm such a sexist.
Okay, she was being nice enough to let you go.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is regarding ordinance, the first one. Sure, Tanya Lukasik. I'm the Director of Operations STOMP. I'm here regarding Ordinance Number 45-2015. I just have a couple of questions regarding the amendment with the interest of wanting to better understand the process behind the way the Department of Public Works prioritizes capital budget items and funding. In Section 2, it states that each project listed in Appendix B attached has been identified as either a Type 1. It's hard to hear. If everybody could please be quiet. Type 1 or Type 2 activity according to SECRA. My question is, it states that there's a record that's to be listing the determination in a file. Is each legislator here provided one of these copies of every activity in terms of Type 1 or Type 2 classification when this documentation is provided to you before you make a vote? And if so, what's that form called? SECRA, the State Environmental Quality Act, Quality Review Act.
It's always in the backup.
So it says there's an appendix and it lists the type, whether it's Type 1 or Type 2, but my question is there a document that states how you came to that determination, either a short form or a long form?
That, Tanya, is up to the Department of Public Works, how they came to that conclusion.
Okay, and so that process...
We adopt what they declare.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
We adopt what their findings are.
Okay, so I'm just trying to better understand the process. So does the Department of Public Works go through a short form or long form process before they make that determination?
You were and remain right.
Sure.
I'll pause her time.
Again, I'm giving you the information I'm receiving.
Sure.
It depends on the type of the item, and it's done by DPW to come up with the recommendations.
Okay, so I just want to understand the process.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. And the Planning Commission.
The Planning
Nassau
Commission.
County Planning Commission.
Okay, so depending on the type of activity.
Right.
But as a legislator, when you're presented this documentation, are you provided any confirmation document beyond just a sheet that says in an appendix, Type 1 or Type 2, to confirm? You're leaving the responsibility on the Department of Public Works, but my question is, are you given a short form or any other type of documentation before you make a vote?
Tanya, the counsel just said that he can give you a copy of the representative form so that you can see what is submitted to us.
Okay, that would be helpful. I think that the public wants that information too, not just me.
It's also public, Tanya.
And what is that file or record called?
What is it called? You asked for a SEQA. Didn't you SEQA Type 1, Type 2?
Okay, so you...
And that's what you would find.
So each activity, just so I'm clear, the Department of Public Works is going through either a short form or a long form?
I just told the Planning Commission. Nassau County Planning Commission probably would be your best bet to
okay, so for like a Department of Public Works activity, like one of the ones that's listed in the appendix?
Tanya, they recommend to DPW and to the administration whether or not, okay, a project should go forward. And I think if you need additional information, you should be contacting the Planning Commission or DPW.
Well, for the sake of, I know looking at ABTEC and the Skelos incident
yeah,
and
okay,
those kind
fine.
of things, that
Fine.
reliance on the Department of Public
Absolutely,
Works can be
Tanya.
sometimes
This
disconcerting.
has nothing to do with it. Okay?
I would think that
Everything
Bay
does
Park,
not revolve around one particular situation.
of course, but
Okay?
just I want to better
You have
understand.
to look at each of them separately.
I want to better understand it as a resident and taxpayer
Fine.
how
You
this
can
process
get a
is
lot
being
of it
handled.
from Planning Commission, and you can get it from the DPW, and whatever information we have online.
So just so we're clear, just because this is complicated, when you vote on something as a legislative body in rules or an environmental committee, you are not provided any specific documentation such as a short form or a long form.
Tanya, I told you that. There's a short and a long. Depends on the individual. And I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell this for every one of my colleagues, both sides of the aisle. We review every item that comes to us before it comes to the public. And if there are questions that need to be asked, and if they're not answered, guess what? The item doesn't come before us.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand the process because I'm not privy to that documentation.
We do not
neither is the
accept
public.
anything blindly.
Okay.
We do ask the appropriate questions, and if they're not forthcoming, guess what? Then we're not calling the item.
Okay, so part of the process is I'm just trying to understand because I'm not privy to the documentation that you receive. You are not provided a short or long form for an environmental activity. It's something that the Department of Public Works might handle.
Yes, you are. We are. It's part of the backup. However, if you want more information, you go to planning or DPW. That's what I'm saying.
But as a legislator, I'm asking the process on your end. How are you provided for each activity that has a Type 1 or Type 2 classification?
I really appreciate your interest. I also appreciate your in-depth consideration of some of these items. But you know what?
Thank you.
I think that you need to address them to the right departments, and we are answering to the best of our ability.
I can give you
and
a
I said
personal
thank you.
example.
I'm telling you right now, Tanya. I'm telling you right now. I've answered your questions to the best of our ability,
Okay.
and I thank you very much for your participation.
I want to just give an example of my experience trying to obtain this documentation.
I know you very well.
I know you
know
very
that
well,
you've been
Mrs.
dealing with us for a long, long time. So I know what your experiences are. So if you got another one
No, this is
that
a
we don't
specific
know
thing
about,
so that
tell
we're all
us.
clear and on the same page. The way that the environmental determination was made for an activity that involved South Oyster Bay Road was a request to initiate form. It was signed off by a Department of Public Works engineer. There was no short form or long form completed. So I just want to make it clear so that this is the documentation that I'm being provided.
You're going past the item. And I think your 3 minutes are up.
Yes, your time has expired.
Well, we're back and forth. I mean, this is discourse on an important
Hey,
item.
we're not supposed to have, this is not a debate session.
It's trying to understand process because it's so
Tanya,
there's such a lack of transparency
you
here.
stop and you listen, okay? I know that you have availed yourself of the services of my counsel on a number of occasions, and they've given you all the freedom to ask all of your questions and get.
I don't even get emails replied back to from individuals on this body.
That's it.
So
Time is
my
up.
other issue too, just to put it out here, because this is involving taxpayer funds, is that when these items are listed on the capital budget, like these two items that are being amended right now,
You're at 7 minutes.
is there some sort of, this is the last question I'll just ask, and maybe just leave for people to think about.
I have a number of items that I've called, and I'm looking now for a vote. You've had your turn at the mic to discuss whatever you would like to discuss, and
Well,
then
this
some.
has been extended because instead of you giving me a 2-second response,
telling you right now, Tanya,
you had
this
to
is
consult
not
with
a
7
public
different individuals
debate
about a
session.
process that should be organized and
Tanya,
systematic.
the purpose of public participation is for the participants to express their concerns, not to have
expressing
a public
concern
debate.
right now.
Okay? Thank you very much. And I have Mr. Bud.
The last items I'll just leave with
I'm sorry,
are that
your time
it's
is up.
important for individuals that are going through these contracts to look at
reasonable.
performance appraisal. That's one thing that's not listed in here, and I think it's important going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Budnick. She's not getting loose. She's not getting
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
someone's at the mic, please. Go ahead, Mr. Budnick.
Okay. I was not able to detect in my review of this item, whether there was anything for the rebuilding.
John, which item you're talking about?
Number one.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Thank you. And I couldn't see that there was something for the rebuilding of the Dockmaster House in Montauk Park. And I haven't seen anything for grade crossing elimination and either Bethpage Stewart Avenue or Bethpage Hicksville South Oyster Bay Road, which are deadly locations. That is my comment, and I thank you very much. I couldn't seem to find it. Thank you.
John. Okay. There being no further comments, all those in favor?
I do have one question on item 5, Presiding Officer, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Legislative Rhodes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think you anticipate what the question was. It's something that actually came up in committees. Did we have an answer on that?
Okay, I reviewed the file since our last meeting, and it was determined that the property being retained by the county does have street access, so that there's no need for any other access easements to the property being retained by the county.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for checking into it. No other questions?
Yeah.
I've been here, I've submitted sheets, and I was told I didn't have to put any specific ordinance since this was a full legislative process.
Hold on. Is it on? No. Hold on. I don't
Yes.
Now, listen, Mrs.
I am trying to
Mendes.
listen, but there needs to be some point of courtesy as well.
No,
I am a tax-paying resident, and I do expect some. I would like to finish my sentence.
Hold on.
I would like to finish my sentence.
You need to listen. I did say, once we finished with the calendar, I come back to public participation, and then you can come up
But you opened it for public comment with regard to the ordinances being discussed.
No, public comment is not on right now, unless it's an item.
Yes, it is an item.
Okay, then if it doesn't say that on your list, does it? Hold on. Okay.
When I arrived here at 5 minutes to 1, I asked what was the procedure with regard to making comments with regard to the items listed, and I was told I didn't have to do that specifically. So I did have to sign
Listen
in.
to me.
I listened to you, presiding supervisor. I would like you to listen to me.
You're talking about item 1 and 2.
I'm talking
Am I
about
correct?
item 1 and 2.
Fine. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Just make yourself clear and it's no problem.
I've never made myself unclear.
I'm sorry, but sometimes I don't understand everybody. Go ahead.
That is apparent. With regard to the ordinance 1 and 2, well, it's unnecessary to be disrespectful. It's unnecessary to be disrespectful to myself and other taxpayers.
Ms. Meredith, I am
It
not
is
being
unnecessary to be disrespectful,
to you.
and I'm on the 3 minutes.
Listen. I'm going to give you your 3 minutes. You need to be clear as to what items you wanted to talk about. And if they're on the calendar, then you can speak about them now. But if it doesn't say that on your slip, I have no way of knowing it. Okay? And it didn't say that on your slip. So now, your 3 minutes. Go ahead.
We pay enough for these floors. I would like to be able to have my opportunity to speak. My questions have to do with, as the young lady preceding me, has to do with asking with regard to these performance appraisals and to have more detailed information for those of us who have to bear the burdens of the residents who are still living here, for those who don't leave in the middle of the night and end up with these zombie homes. So I need to have clarification with regard to what exactly this adoption process means in terms of my tax hit and who is being implicated. Does this include the projects that are going to be taking place with regard to the Coliseum, other infrastructure projects, things of that nature? Does it include outreach that will provide some real job opportunities for residents who live here? I need to know more specifics with regard to Ordinance 1 and 2. And I also, again, from my own point of privilege, just the lack of disrespect to the taxpayers in this county is appalling. The fact that someone cannot come up here and get the answers and get the runaround and be abused and potentially intimidated, because I don't get intimidated. But this is the reason why people don't want to come up here, don't want to speak, and they're leaving this county. Now, can someone answer my question? And I hope that I was very clear.
Honey, did you get the questions? I'm not going to answer. Ms. Meredith, on the backup, there are specific items that are listed.
They are not.
And they don't include what you have brought to our attention.
So, particularly with item 2, Ordinance Number 46-2015, authorizing $10 million of bonds to finance what expenditures?
Would you like to know the projects?
Yes.
Okay, one is for land acquisition, and I believe the real estate can tell you those. One is for NICE, and another one is for various county parks and ice rink modernizations, and another one is for the systematic review of the county assessment system, and they total approximately $10,987,649.
So NICE as in the NICE buses?
That's right.
Okay, so we're continuing to subsidize the buses that were supposed to save the taxpayers money, but in fact are costing taxpayers more money?
And we do, Ms. Meredith, we do. Okay?
Okay.
And this will help them to continue to give the fares that they give to the riders.
Okay,
what else do you want to
for
know?
parks, does that include cleaning up the toxic waste that's on the Brookside Preserve?
No, it's ice parks, ice rinks.
The ice rinks.
The modernization of the ice rinks.
So we're going to modernize the ice rinks, but we're not dealing with the toxic dumping that took place in the park in North
Meredith,
Baldwin.
There are other projects that have gone forward regarding the issue that you're raising. This particular item addresses the ice rinks and only the ice rinks.
Okay, what are the other what are the other items that are addressing that? Because we haven't seen it. Because I'm just curious. I'm reading in Newsday about the bill to limit election mail that we seem to be paying for. I'm just trying to find out where my tax dollars are going. Because it's not benefiting me where I live. So if someone can answer that question.
Well, I don't know who can tell you about land acquisition to the tune of $2.8 million. I can tell you about the systematic review county assessment system to the tune of $700,000. And Mr. Narendra, would you want to speak about the land acquisition for Ms. Meredith? Is there anything you want to talk about? And by the way, this is not a one-shot deal. This is during the course of the year that this $2.8 million for land acquisition is going to be expended. So it's not a one-shot thing.
And who's monitoring the expenditures with that?
By the way, past 3 minutes, by the way.
The Department of Real Estate monitors that.
Also the controller and NIFA.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I'm guessing that the controller is going to monitor how they're getting paid since
I
we
will
already
tell you this, Ms.
since we already have one contract. I'm sorry, I was not finished, ma'am. Since we already have one contractor that's being reviewed by the controller's office for wage issues. I can't make this stuff up if it's already printed. This contractor was approved by this organization, and they were not paying a living wage to its workers. So I don't understand, again, when I'm asking about transparency and review of contracts that this body is approving, and at the end of the day, again, residents are not getting paid enough that they can make a living, let alone stay here in Long Island.
Okay, let me say this to you. Once it leaves this body, it goes to another level, and that's the controller, who audits what's being done and whether or not it's being expended properly. Okay, and then we also have another entity that will monitor it as well. So it's not like, because we pass something, it's blindly accepted. All right, and then you have the other entity that certainly is going to scrutinize almost everything that we put through, and that's NIFA. So we're not doing this in a vacuum. So I hope I allayed your fears, but I don't know if
No,
I
you
did.
haven't, because we
I'm
have a lot
sorry.
of dust that's clogging the vacuum.
Well,
It needs to get cleaned out.
You
Thank
may be right, thank you. Good God. Okay, all those in favor of the items that were called on the consent calendar signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, the items pass unanimously. Now we're going to have to go to, now what are we going to do first? We're going to move to item 13, Ordinance 57, and that is a supplemental appropriation to and